Good morning, class. Good morning. Good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am. Morning, ma'am.
Is your Hindi class over? आपकी हिंदी क्लास खत्म हो गई? Okay, see children, today we will start a new lesson that is heat. Okay, this is chapter number 4. Sometimes you get your hands burnt, or you feel very cold when you put your fingers in ice water. Why does this happen? Why do you burn your fingers in hot water and your fingers get numb when you put your fingers in cold water? Why does this happen? Tell me. Okay, tell me, children. How do you know that if a substance is hot or cold? Tell me. We measure the degree of hotness or coldness. Which instrument is used to measure the degree of hotness or coldness? Tell me first. How do you know? There is a noun called temperature. What is temperature? Temperature measures degree of hotness. Substance. Okay. Temperature tells us how hot or how cold a substance is. Okay? Understood or not?
Good morning, ma'am.
Very good morning.
Ma'am, have you started just now?
Yes, I have started just now only.
Okay, ma'am.
Now see, temperature. What is the definition of temperature? Temperature means shows the degree of hotness or coldness of the substance. Now, which instrument is used to measure the temperature of any substance? Which instrument is used? Tell me.
Thermometer.
Thermometer.
Yes, thermometer is used to measure the temperature of substance. Okay, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
One experiment is given in your textbook. You have to take 3
Ma'am, the voice is very low.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear my voice now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one activity is given in your
Yes,
textbook where you have to take 3 beakers. You have to put lukewarm water in first jar, cold water in the second one, and in the third one you have to mix both the waters. You have to dip your fingers, you have to dip your hands in the jar and check. The first jar will feel you warmer, the second one will feel you colder, and the third one will give you a mixed sort of feeling. Okay?
Normal.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
ma'am.
I was discussing activity 1 of your textbook. 3 jars, you have to take 3 jars, and then you have to check which one is more warmer, which one is less warmer. Then you dip your hand in warm water, and then when you take out your hand and put your hands in cold water, you sensation in your hand. Now, what is the reason for that sensation? The reason for that sensation is your body is getting adjusted to first the warm water and then to the cold waters. Okay? Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See the next measuring the temperature. So I told you what is temperature. I told you what is a thermometer. Thermometer is a device which is used for measuring temperature. Next is measuring temperature. Now, how do you measure temperature? Have you seen a thermometer, children?
Yes, ma'am. I have seen a digital thermometer.
Digital thermometers are used nowadays because the mercury is a very toxic substance. Mercury thermometers, they rely on mercury. Mercury is filled in the glass knob, okay, and then the mercury is a liquid metal. So
Yes,
when
ma'am.
there's
It
any
is
change,
also in the hospital.
yes, if there's any change in the temperatures, the mercury level will rise or it will fall, and this is how you get to know what is the temperature. You will be able to read the temperature on the thermometer. Now, how does the thermometer work?
Ma'am,
Yes, tell me.
Mercury helps to measure the temperature, but in digital thermometers there is no mercury. Then how digital thermometer works?
Students, those who are not trained, suppose their email ID till now, which is 7 days student, please send immediately. Today itself you have to send your email ID, okay, in the WhatsApp group.
Now, see, children, this I have drawn a clinical thermometer. This is not
Ma'am, it is used to measure on body temperature.
Yes, what are you saying, children?
Ma'am, it is used only for body temperature.
Not only for generally the range which is given in the
Because of the range, we have to take the temperature of the body only.
yes, it is designed in such a way that it cannot measure above it or temperature below it. So it is only used for measuring the body temperatures. Okay, the range is 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. And Fahrenheit, 94 degrees Fahrenheit to 100. This is the range of clinical thermometer. You can't measure above temperature above it and temperature below it. Can't 41 and 42. There are 10 small divisions. So what does one small division count? There are 10 small divisions between two degrees. There are 10 small divisions. So if mercury level rises to, say mercury level rises to here. Okay, first division. So what does one small division count? It is 1 by 10. Right? There are 10 small divisions between two degrees. So what will be one
0.1 degree centigrade.
small division? One small division will be equal to 1 by 10. Right? That is 0.1 degrees Celsius. Okay. One small division will count 0.1 degrees Celsius. Understood till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what are the parts of a clinical thermometer? A clinical thermometer, it will consist of a bulb. This is for the bulb part of the thermometer where it is filled with mercury. The bulb is filled with mercury. Okay, that is
Ma'am, what is it filled with?
it is filled with mercury.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and there is a narrow uniform glass tube. Okay, this is a narrow uniform, very uniform, very plain. Glass tube is there, and the glass tube, there are graduations marked on the glass tube. Okay, the divisions are marked on the glass tube. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It has a bulb at one end, a uniform glass, and it has a bulb at one end. The bulb contains mercury, and outside the bulb there is a shining thread. Inside the bulb you can find mercury. If you do not see the mercury thread, you can also rotate the thermometer to see the mercury. Okay, now I told you how to how to use a clinical thermometer. Now you have to follow some precautions while using the thermometer. Have you seen the clinical thermometer, how it is kept in the hospitals? It is not that it is thrown anywhere. It is kept very well. It is washed with Dettol. Okay, it is not that the nurse will put a thermometer in your mouth and then she will take it out and put it in somebody else's mouth. It doesn't happen like that. So how is that process taken? When the thermometer is used, it is washed with an antiseptic and again kept backwards to the thermometer holder. Okay, this is how they use the thermometer. See how to use. Thermometer should be washed before and after use with an antiseptic solution. Antiseptic solution means you can use Dettol to wash for washing the thermometer, right? Ensure that before the use of thermometer, you have to check that before the use of thermometer, mercury level is below 35. Mercury level should be below 35. Okay, you have to keep the thermometer. You have to check the thermometer. You have to hold the thermometer till the mercury level comes below 35 degrees Celsius. Then you have to read the mercury thermometer, keeping the thermometer at above your eye level. Okay, along the line of sight. Okay, you have to keep it very straight so that you read it properly. Handle of the thermometer is very light, so you have to hold it very gently. Do not hold the thermometer at the bulb. You should not hold the thermometer by its bulb. Hold it here, the temperature will fluctuate. So you should be holding the thermometer here and you should be holding it very gently. और सावधानी से thermometer को पकड़ना है. Okay, so that there are no fluctuations in temperature. Do not cause fluctuations in temperature. Understood?
The normal temperature of a human body is 98.7 Fahrenheit.
That is in degree Fahrenheit, and degree Celsius it is 37 degrees Celsius. The normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, you can.
Ma'am, can you please repeat how to use the clinical thermometer?
See, when you are using a clinical thermometer, the first thing which you should take care is when you are using the thermometer, you should wash it with an antiseptic solution. Okay, say you dip it in a solution of Dettol, and then you should use it. Even after using it, you should again dip it in Dettol, and then you should keep it safely. Should not be holding it by the bulb. Bulb को नहीं पकड़ना है. Okay, you should hold it by its handle. Okay, other end of the glass tube. When you are measuring the temperature, you have to take care that the mercury level is below 35. Okay, the mercury level should be below 35, and there should be holding it very well. Okay, there should be no fluctuations in the temperature level. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I've told you about the
Ma'am, please send the photo of the board.
photo of the board page. I'm sending you. One thing more, like the clinical thermometer, we have another type of thermometer that is called laboratory thermometer. The range of the laboratory thermometer is slightly different as compared to that of the clinical thermometer. Okay, let me take the picture of it and send it to you. Please take
And the laboratory thermometer cannot measure the body's thermometer. Sorry, body's temperature.
It can measure body's temperature, but generally it is not used. Okay. It can be measured to measure the temperature of human body also, but generally it is not used for measuring the temperature of human body. It is used only for laboratory purposes to measure the melting point and then boiling point of substances. And there are even varied applications of the laboratory thermometers. Okay. Please take down the notes properly. Please match the notes of Blackboard and the classwork note. The classwork note, two pictures I have sent you. Somebody was asking me now, you didn't get the notes of chapter 1 and chapter 2. I have already sent you. Please,
Yes, ma'am.
Please somebody share the notes on WhatsApp for those who have not got the notes. Maybe some people they joined late, so maybe they do not have the notes for the lessons. Please share the notes for them.
Ma'am, today you have sent the fourth chapter notes.
Yes, I have sent you the notes for chapter 4. Do you have notes for chapter 3, fiber to fabric? I have sent the notes, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Listen, what I was teaching is I was telling you about the laboratory thermometer. The working principle of laboratory thermometer and the clinical thermometer, they both are similar. They work on the same principle. In that thermometer also you have mercury, you have a glass tube, and the mercury level rises and you get to read the thermometer. They work on the same principle. Okay, let me teach you about the clinical thermometer. So laboratory thermometer, the range of the laboratory thermometer is slightly more than the clinical thermometer. Yes, you are. So this is a laboratory. The range of this thermometer is from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. This is the range of the thermometer. It ranges from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Understood?
Ma'am, when you are going at that side of the board, your voice is coming low.
Okay, I'm standing before the mic and teaching you. Okay. Now see that the range is from minus 10 to 110. 110. That means you can measure the temperatures from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
One more thing, that is mercury doesn't start falling on its own. There is a small knob-like structure that is called kink, and this kink resists the mercury to fall on itself. Okay,
Ma'am, what is the spelling of cake?
Kink, kink. Okay, what is the use of this? This small knob-like, just a small knob-like structure inside the glass tube. Okay, this doesn't let the mercury falling on itself. Okay, the mercury will stand for some time. Okay, mercury stands for some time and it doesn't start falling off. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I told you about the range. See, there are different thermometers for different purposes. There are the maximum and minimum temperatures can be reported with the use of this laboratory thermometer also. Okay. Now see, what are the precautions for using this laboratory thermometer? The precautions, they remain to be same like the clinical thermometer. Now the clinical thermometer, like you should be dipping it inside your mouth, or you can keep it under your armpit. But for measuring this, for measuring the temperature of different substances with the help of laboratory thermometer, you have to dip it in different substances, right? So you have to hold it upright. You have to hold it very straight. You should hold it upright and not tilted. The bulb should be surrounded all the sides. The substance which you are supposed to measure the temperature.
Who
That
is
should.
using Robin Moon ID? Who is using Robin Moon ID? And Harish Chandra Mardi. Both. Please tell your name.
Please write the names if you're using different ID, if you're joined by different IDs.
Write in the chat box.
Okay. See, the substance should surround from all the sides. The substance, the temperature of the substance which you are supposed to measure, that should be surrounding the thermometer. That should be surrounding the knob. That should be surrounding the bulb of the thermometer from all the sides. It should be tipped properly. Okay. Temperature is to be measured. That the bulb should not touch the surface. The bulb should not be touching the surface of the. It should not be touching the edges of the beaker. Okay. How the laboratory thermometer works?
Ma'am, is it used for chemicals?
No, it is not used for clinical purposes. It is used for clinical purposes. We have special clinical thermometers. What is the use in clinics? Tell me, just to measure the body temperature, right? To measure the body temperature, specific thermometers are given. Just normal clinical thermometers will work. The range is not very high in case of clinical thermometers, but the range is a little high in case of laboratory thermometers. The temperature from where, the range from where to where you have to measure, that the range is very high in case of laboratory thermometer. The reason is here the substance in different science activities, you need to measure the melting point, you need to measure the boiling point, and there are also various other applications of laboratory thermometers.
Laboratory thermometer is bigger than clinical thermometer.
Yes, it is bigger because the range is high. The size is also big. So I was telling you about the kink. What is the use of kink?
Ma'am, I want to ask you that.
Yes. Yes, you're saying something?
Ma'am, why we should pass thermometer before and after use?
In case of clinical thermometer, see if there's any bacterium over the thermometer, if there's any dust, and you put the thermometer in your mouth, so you will get to use it. Okay, understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now what is the purpose of kink in the thermometer?
King prevents the mercury from falling on its own.
Yes, it is a very important question. The role of kink, the what is the use of kink? It is very important. It prevents the mercury from falling on its own. That means if you have just measured the temperature, okay, you have measured the temperature as 37. It needs to stay at 37 for some time, right? If it falls from 37, you will not be able to read the temperature. So kink is very important. The role of kink prevents the mercury of the falling on its own. Falling on its own. Okay, understood?
Nowadays clinical thermometers are not there.
No, there are clinical thermometers.
Ma'am, it is in the hospital.
Digital. There are digital thermometers. They work digitally. Okay, there is a different setup inside the digital thermometers. There are digital devices to measure the blood pressure also. The principle of digital thermometer is completely different. They work digitally. उसमें ऐसे ऐसे कुछ गैजेट्स होते हैं जो टेम्परेचर फ्लक्चुएशंस को मेजर
And there are sensors in them.
Yeah, sensors. Okay. Transfer of heat. Now next topic after the thermometer is transfer of heat. Wait, I'll take the picture of this and send it to you. Please mix the notes of the blackboard and the notes which I have sent to you, and then take the notes in your notebook. I will ask.
Ma'am, have you also sent in 7A science group?
I have sent in both. I'm sending the pictures in both the groups. Okay, children, listen. What I was teaching is the next topic is transfer of heat. I will also send you the questions from the workbook also. So you have to write down the questions from workbook also. If you find any difficulty, you can ask on WhatsApp. You can ask me in the next class also. Now come to transfer of heat. How is heat transferred from one body to another? Transfer.
Through conduction.
There are many methods. solids, the method is different. In liquids and gases, the method is different. Solids, it conducts. The process is called reaction. Liquids, convection. Yes. Apart from these two, there's one more method for transfer of heat, that is called radiation. Okay. In these two cases, in conduction and convection, you need, in case of conduction and convection, there is a need of medium for transmitting the heat. Whereas in case of radiation, you do not need any medium for transferring heat. Understood? There are few
Yes, ma'am.
activities. There are few activities which are given in your textbook. If you take a metal rod and you're placing wax strips over it, first the wax strip which is closer to the source of heat will melt first. Right? Activity 4.6. The activity is you're taking a rod, you're sticking wax strips to it, and you're heating it. When you start heating, first the wax strip which will be falling off first will be the one which is closer to the source of heat. Okay? Understood?
Yes.
Now there's one more concept. In case of solids, there are conductors and there are insulators. Now what are conductors? Conductors and insulators. Conductors are one. Conductors of we are strictly talking about conduction of heat. Conductors are one which help in conduction, which help the heat to flow. Help the heat to flow to them. Okay? And insulators which do not allow heat to pass, heat to flow. There. Okay? Metals are generally good conductors of heat, and non-metals, plastics. Okay, both they are non-conductors. They are insulators of heat. Okay, understood? So you understood about how solids conduct heat. See, heat will also travel from the hotter region to the colder region. Okay, it will travel from the region where it is supplied from the source to the top level. Okay, so the topper level will be cooler. So heat travels from the hotter region towards the cooler region. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
You
what
have
are
yes. Yes, you're saying something.
yes, ma'am. What are insulators?
Insulators are those substances which do not conduct heat. They do not allow the heat to pass through them. They will
Okay,
start
ma'am.
burning. They will not conduct heat. If you are supplying heat to insulators, they will either burn off, they will melt, they will start melting. Okay. And then
Yes, ma'am.
then we have the next topic, that is what is convection. Convection is seen in liquids and gases. First, let me take the picture of this and send it to you. Then I will teach you about convection. Now see how convection works. you see what is see what happens? If you supply heat to it, okay, first this layer will get warmer. This layer will get warmer. If you flip up, then this layer gets warmer. Okay, this will flip up, and the second layer will come down. Again, it will get hotter, and it will flip up. Okay, this is how convection happens, layer by layer. Okay.
And for example, with 50 will hit the frying pan,
If
it
you
will
go, if you take
get hotter than
if you take plain water and you're adding some color to it, you can add some potassium permanganate crystals to it. Then you can see how beautifully the layers after layer the water gets evaporated. Right? The water starts boiling. Okay? What happens here is when water is heated, the water near the flame gets hot. Hot water rises up, the cold water from the sides moves down to the source of heat. This water also gets hot and rises, and the water from the sides will move down. This process continues till the whole water gets heated. This mode of heat, transfer of heat is known as convection. Layer by layer. First, this layer will get heated. The water from the surrounding, the layer from the surrounding flips down, and this layer moves up. This is how the whole water gets heated up. Okay, and this process is known as convection. Understood?
Yes.
yes,
Convection,
yes, ma'am.
convection is seen in water, in liquids, and gases.
Ma'am, what we will write it there in the exam, a question will come, what is convention?
What you will write? Convection.
Yes, ma'am.
Convection is the mode of transfer of heat. I'm writing it on the board. Convection. Convection is the mode of transfer of heat. Transfer of heat in liquids and gases. And gases. Where the closer to the source of heat, source of heat, source of heat gets warm, rises up, the others layers from the Understood? Understood
Yes,
this
ma'am.
concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm taking the
ma'am.
picture of this and sending it to you. Then we have next topic is sea breeze, land breeze. That is also very, very important. I'll tell you about sea breeze and land breeze. Then kinds of clothes we have to wear. Okay, we are left with just two topics. That is, first is land breeze, sea breeze, and the kinds of clothes you have to wear for different seasons. First, let me tell you.
And radiation.
Radiation is a method of transfer of heat where you do not need any medium. There's no medium between the sun and the earth. There's vacuum all around, but still the warmth of the sun is coming to the earth. That process is known as radiation. Okay, let me take the picture of this and send it to you. I will teach you about land breeze and sea breeze in the next class. I will tell you about clothes. I'll tell you which clothes you have to wear in which season. Tell me one thing. Who is sharing the notes? Who is keeping on sharing the notes? You'll get confused. 7B. Don't share any notes now. Share it after my class. You will get confused. Which notes are from chapter heat? Don't share any
Yes,
notes
ma'am.
now.
It is not able to understand.
Yes, you will get confused. Who is sharing the notes now?
Ma'am, Shubhangi of chapter 1 and chapter 2, so I have sent her.
Don't send it now. You will get confused. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Even I'm getting confused if I have sent all the pictures or not. Okay. Send it personally. If you have to send the note, send it personally. Do one thing, you delete the notes which you have sent now. Because you children will get confused. Don't delete my notes for chapter heat. Delete the notes which you have shared among yourselves. Share it to the children. Children, if you need any notes, old notes, ask from your friends because I've shared it all in the group. If you move back, you will get all the notes.
Yes, ma'am, and they could share it personally also.
Share it personally because don't make it so haphazard. Don't make the group so haphazard. What I was saying, I was telling you about which kind of clothes you have to wear in which season. See, for winters, you wear woolen clothes. Now, why do you wear woolen clothes in winter season? The woolen garments, okay, the woolen clothes keep you warm because there is gap between the woolen fibers. There's air between the woolen fibers, and air is a bad conductor of heat. It doesn't let the heat from the body to get transmitted. Okay, there's the woolen garment that trap air, and air being bad conductor of heat, it doesn't let the heat from the body to get transmitted out. Okay, then in summers you wear very light clothes, very light cotton clothes. You wear very light cotton clothes because they absorb the sweat. You wear very light colors. See, if you wear very dark colors in summer season, you will feel very warm. Okay, so in order to avoid it, wear very light colored clothes, so that you adjust the.
Ma'am means we wear clothes to protect ourselves from that particular season.
You wear clothes according to the season, according to the body's need. Okay. I'll teach you. We are left with just one topic, that is sea breeze and land breeze. I'll teach you about sea breeze and land breeze in the next class. So we are almost done with today's class. Do you have any doubts anywhere? Please ask.
Ma'am, can you send the workbook question of chapter 3 and chapter 4?
I haven't sent you workbook questions of chapter 3.
No, ma'am. You have sent the questions of book, textbook.
Okay.
Ma'am, you have sent the questions and also presented and discussed in the class.
Okay, I will send. You want me to send the questions of chapter 3 and chapter 4? Workbook.
Yes, ma'am. Workbook questions.
Okay, I will send. Any more doubts anywhere?
Ma'am, is the radiation same which comes from phones?
No. Here, when you say radiation, you're talking it with transfer of heat, it is completely different. Radiation from the phones means they are ultraviolet radiations. They are different from heat radiations. They are two different phenomena. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Any more doubts anywhere?
No,
No, ma'am.
Yes. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No.
Ma'am, I have a... No, ma'am. Ma'am.
Tell me what?
Ma'am, in book readings, the question is given that don't use a clinical thermometer for measuring the temperature of any other object than the human body. Ma'am, what is the reason behind this?
What? I did not understand what you're saying.
Ma'am, in book it is given that do not use a clinical thermometer for measuring the temperature of any any object other than the human body.
See, the range. First is the range of clinical thermometer is very narrow. Okay, it is very low. So you cannot measure the temperature. Say boiling water. If you want to measure the temperature at which the water boils, it is like slightly up. It is exactly at 100 degrees Celsius. You cannot measure it with the clinical thermometer. And one thing more, clinical thermometer, your body can get infected very easily if you are measuring the clinical thermometer if you are using the clinical thermometer for different uses, your body can get affected. You can get you get infected. Anything else?
Ma'am,
ma'am. Also, the thermometer can break if it is in contact with higher temperatures.
ma'am, in India, Celsius degree works.
Huh?
Ma'am, in India, Celsius,
Huh?
ma'am, Celsius is there.
Yes. What are you saying? I'm not able to understand.
मैम इंडिया में सेल्सियस चलता है.
हाँ, सेल्सियस भी चलता है, फ़ारेनहाइट भी चलता है. दोनों रहते हैं. क्लिनिकल थर्मोमीटर में दोनों रहते हैं.
Ma'am, Kelvin is also a unit.
Yes, Kelvin is a unit. Anything else you want to ask?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, you will teach sea breeze and land breeze in the next class.
Yes, I will teach you because it is a different topic. Sea breeze and land breeze is a different topic. So I will teach you about this in the next class.
Okay, ma'am.
Anything else, children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So time is up. Let us find our class then, and I will send you the notes on WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.